Hey everybody, Mark Dannenberg. I am the CEO and founder of Options Moneymaker. Today is January 25th. It's Monday. We're just starting the new trading week. I have my partner Michael Kastner with me today, and we're talking about trading as a business today and how you view your trading. Many times, the success or failure of traders is entirely dependent on their attitude towards their trading and whether or not they just treat it as a haphazard hobby or whether they actually view it as a business. So, Michael, glad to have you here today.
I'm glad to be here, Mark.
Now, Michael, you and I have known each other for a long time, and I know that you and your family owned businesses for many, many years. So, you're an experienced business owner, you're an entrepreneur at heart. What are your thoughts on trading and the attitude of traders towards their trading and viewing it as a business?
Well, Mark, what I experience and have experienced with different, even friends and even some clients in our what we have with Option Moneymaker is that you know traders, including I point the finger at myself sometimes. It's just hard to take a loss, but I don't want to call it a loss. I want to call it an expense, especially when in the business world. We didn't wake up every morning when we had our family business and say, okay, we're not going to have expenses today. We're going to make money all day long, and we're going to make money the next day, and the next day we don't have any expenses. Well, that's not true, and everybody knows that. I mean, the type of business we were in, we could have a truck that actually blew a tire one day, or just multiple things that could happen. Expenses from the government that we have to pay, fees, overweight fines. So, I mean, it's there's going to be expenses. You're not going to win every day, but the key is how you manage your way out of the expense you had and make a profit out of it. Whether it's stay over for a couple hours and you know transport more product than we usually would the day before, or there's just all kind of ways. And in trading the same way, you just have to, it's an expense. It's not a loss in my book now, but that's
So,
just the way I look, because you can get caught up in that.
so Michael, trading is a business. If you go back to your days when you and your family were running your business, did you ever have days where you just felt like, things are running pretty smoothly, things are a little lighter? I'm going to take a little time to myself. I might go play golf. I might go spend a little extra time with my family. Did you ever have those days?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Did you ever have days where you might have been at work for 18 hours because, wow, things just seemed to require so much attention and you were accountable for it and it was your responsibility. So you had those days too, right?
Hey, that's exactly right. Feast or famine.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what it is.
in my old corporate days, what I what I enjoyed about my corporate job was I ran a division that had multiple offices. In fact, I had as many as 18 small offices around the country, from Miami to Northern California. And each one of them was operated as almost a small business by itself. And so I feel like I learned a lot with the corporate hierarchy about um, running small businesses and the attitude towards being successful in those businesses. And like you said, there were days where, I'd grab some of my general managers and we'd go play golf and we'd have a good time. And then there were days where literally I'd be there for 20 hours because that's what the needs of the business were. So when I think about trading as a business, it's the same thing. We have days, and we've had days in the last couple of months where it just seemed like everything went perfectly for us. We couldn't do anything wrong, and we were making money in a big way. And then we had other days, and I'd say today was in the second category, the and that being more challenging. Doesn't mean that all of a sudden we have a lot of losses. It just means that we had more challenging trades. We had to work a little harder at what we were doing. We had to pay a little closer attention to what we were doing. Again, it's just no different than owning a business. And then the more extreme case, as you mentioned, Michael, is you're going to have some days where you're going to have expenses. And if you look at losses in trading as expenses, and you look at profits in trading as your revenue, And then you look at some of your other expenses like a subscription to a trading room, such as our live trading room, or buying an education package. We offer education packages, and many people offer options trading education packages. If you net all of that together, you have a view of whether or not you're actually being successful. Because a lot of traders will get hung up on a loss or two losses, and it tends to affect their attitude towards their trading. They get depressed, they're a little hesitant to get back into the market. But if you take a big picture view, it's just all revenue and expenses. And if at the end of the month or whatever time period you want to measure, you're net positive, then you can classify yourself as a successful trader. So today, let's talk about this a little bit, what happened in the trading room, Michael. Today, what I saw going on as you and Allison and Aaron and I were interacting in the room and placing trades, what we were doing was we were minimizing expenses. And I know that when I've run my businesses before, I always want to, I acknowledge that I'm going to have expenses, but I want to minimize them. I don't want to just throw money away. And so today what we were doing was we were minimizing expenses because we had a couple of positions that were challenging us. And we managed them in a way, and we were teaching people in our live trading room how to manage them in a way that that expense or that loss in that individual position was minimized to a point where it didn't really affect us that much. So we had quite a bit of activity going on like that. I know you were, I was gone for a little while, and I know you were immersed in it in the midst of looking at those positions. But at the end of the day, we made money. So what did we end up finishing at for the day?
Oh, 3,200 and change, Mark, I think. They're at 3,200
Yeah,
round off.
actually $3,261.
There you go.
And yet we took a loss on a trade today. We closed out a trade and we took a loss on that trade. And I know you're like me, Michael. We didn't even blink. We took that loss
No.
off and we're done with it because we're net positive for the day. So our business reported net positive profits for the day. And that means that we had other gains that were higher than that, and we had some expenses like our loss, and then we have some of our own expenses like operating the live trading room, our chart services, etc. We're net positive for the day. And I just think it's very, very important that people look at their trading, if they truly have a desire and a passion for being successful, that they look at their trading as though they were operating a business for themselves. And I'm not talking
Yes.
about the legal incorporation of a trading entity. I'm just saying it's your attitude, it's your mental profile of how you view your trading. And I personally think that'll help people be more successful.
Oh yeah, it is because I mean, and I catch myself saying stuff. Now we had a loss today, but it really ain't a loss. It's an expense we had today because I mean that's it sounds better. It makes you I don't know the karma around that just makes it to me not as quite as negative, and it keeps you positive about your trading business basically.
Well, and so here's an example, Michael. I was just looking at some of our performance tracking, and if I just go back the last 35 days, for example, in the last 35 trading days, we have reported no profits 5 of those 35 days. So we had no profits, but no loss. We have reported a loss on 2 of those trading days. So there's 7 of the last 35 trading days that we have made no money or we lost money. And the other days, the 28 days, we've actually had a net positive profit for the day. So when I look at that, frankly, I couldn't go back and tell you exactly what trade it was that we lost on those 2 days. that we
Hmm.
lost, or why necessarily that we didn't make any money on 5 of those days, other than the fact that they were during the two Christmas and New Year's holiday weeks. So that may have contributed to it. But my point is, I don't really care because if I'm net positive 28 of the last 35 days, it means that I'm overall net positive. And we're strongly net positive overall for those 35 days. So why waste your time in all this detail tracking, trying to figure out why this one trade didn't work out? That is one area that a lot of traders will spend time and get derailed from focusing on what matters. Traders will frequently get hung up on the things that do not matter. It becomes static and they get distracted by the static. And before you know it, they're no longer successful as a trader because they're preoccupied with the things that they ought to be setting aside and viewing as it's just a natural part of my trading business. So those are my thoughts on trading as a business. Michael, any other thoughts about our trading today or that?
Well, no, not really, Mark. We had a great day, I think, in our profits, and even though we've had like the 2 day. To be honest with you, I didn't realize we lost 2 days until I look back at the spreadsheet because I forget about them. I'd go day by day by day. That's the way I did my business. I start every day with a clean slate. Well, let's start over today, and if we have an expense, that's fine. We'll just keep doing what we've been doing for 30 something years as when we had our business because it was
Mm-hmm.
successful. So, and we didn't profit every day, no doubt about that. But I look back at the spreadsheet now. I just pulled it up while you were speaking, and you know, I mean, who can argue with the profits we've had? I mean, we've been very blessed, but we're $81,503 for 35 trading days, and we've had what 2 lost days, but 5 days with no profit. Can't complain about that. And if we did take a loss, say if we had a couple more losses in the next day or two, we're still net positive. And I don't want to take a expense, as I should say, but that's just part of it because it's just if we could make every trade and win on every trade, we probably wouldn't be here very long. We'd probably be somewhere else on some kind of island somewhere. But that's just real. That's not real life.
Well, the other thing is, if we told people that we win on every trade, nobody would ever believe us,
No,
and it wouldn't be true. We
no.
go into this trading knowing that we're going to have losses, knowing that we're going to have wins, and if we are smart, disciplined, patient traders, smart, disciplined, patient traders, then we're going to win on far more trades than we lose on, and the losses are going to be minimal compared to our wins. And that is a fact. So I've been trading for 30 years, as you have also, Michael, and that's been my experience. Now, I didn't always trade successfully
No.
because I needed to learn how to be smart about what I was doing. I needed to develop my own sense of discipline around what I was doing, and I needed to develop a sense of patience. And so my 30 years of trading experience, I would say, in fairness, the first 15 years of my trading experience was learning a lot about what to do and a lot about what not to do. And the last 15 years of my trading has really been accenting those experiences and those learnings and taking it to the next level and helping people who come to Options Moneymaker learn the art of trading. Our live trading room is available to people who have the time and the interest in trading more actively throughout the day. Michael is the primary host of our live trading room throughout the day, and he is a master at reading technical signals that he shares with the people in our room. And we can trade off of those signals, and they have a high degree of reliability to them, more so than I've seen in 30 years of personal trading. And we trade those signals, we take very rapid profits generally, and when they don't work out, we employ management techniques that I've spent years developing and perfecting. So we've got a combination in our live trading room of mastery around the signals, which I absolutely respect Michael for, and it's one of the reasons he runs our live trading room, and people benefit from it. And then I've spent a lot of years just perfecting the management techniques. So when that trade doesn't work out, we can actually nurture it along to either a profit or a minimal expense, as you call it, Michael. So if you are interested in learning more, you can check us out at ommprofitbuilders.com or optionsmoneymaker.com. That's ommprofitbuilders.com or optionsmoneymaker.com. We have an entry-level program called Profit Builders, helps people over a 6-month period learn how to trade options, learn how to feel confident with their trading, and learn how to think like a trader. Michael, as always, it's great talking with you. It's great trading with you. We have a lot of fun
Glad to be
together.
here.
And
Glad to be here, Mark.
I would say we probably need a word of the day in the live trading room, because there's so many words that I don't understand that you're saying. But
Oh God, here we go. I don't.
for me, the word of the day today is our profits are adequate.
There you
And,
go.
and adequate for us folks is they are over the top, like we are blessed. We didn't expect to have that great a profit, so we try to be very low key about it, and they're just adequate. So I'd say our profits today and to date are adequate, and we'll leave it at that. So everybody, thanks for listening. Check us out at ommprofitbuilders.com if you're interested in learning how to think like a trader. If you're ready to sign up for our live trading room and you think that you have the time and the knowledge to do so, optionsmoneymaker.com will give you some information about our live trading room. We'll be back again tomorrow. Thanks for being here.